A lot has changed throughout the many years that VGR has been supplying the message of God's prophet to the bride around the world. Over the past 40 years, we've seen the hand of God supply one breakthrough after another, all to equip His bride. We've gone from reel-to-reels to cassette tapes to CDs to MP3s and M4As. All the while, devices to play these media formats have gone from huge, expensive single-track machines down to pocket-sized devices holding thousands of files. And now we've reached yet another level of even greater breakthroughs. It was in January of 1986 that VGR produced its very first translated message sermon, 62-1231, The Contest, in the Kiswahili language. This was recorded in what we call the gap tape format, where we play one segment of the original English audio and then play a segment of the foreign translation, repeating this until the end of the sermon. This was easy to understand, but the completed translation was twice as long as the original English sermon. Here's an example of a gapped tape.
No matter how much it was contrary, how much his organization said it was contrary, he's seen God vindicating that man. And he knew he was a prophet.
Zvisinei kuti zvaipesana zvakadini kana kuti sangano rake raiti zvaipesana sei, akaona Mwari vachisimbisa murume iyeye uye akaziva kuti aiva muprofita.
And if he was a prophet, the word of the Lord comes to the prophet.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And he knew what he was talking about.
Uye kana aiva muprofita, shoko rashe rinouya kumuprofita. Uye aiziva zvaaitaura pamusoro pazvo.
For the past 37 years, this has been the method for non-English speaking believers to hear the message. Yet, over the years, we've received numerous requests for a way to listen to the translated voice at the same time as they hear Brother Branham's voice. With having over 8,400 translated message files that were formatted for gapped sermons, the thought of reformatting or retranslating these sermons seemed to be an impossible task. Even so, there was a burden on our hearts to supply this for God's children, and the Lord never fails to meet the need. Over the past few years, the Lord has risen up some extraordinary talent to bring this vision to pass. In His perfect timing and through His help, the VGR team has been able to create a highly technical software to analyze all of our gapped tapes. This new software placed split markers between Brother Branham's voice and the translator's voice, and was able to automatically split over 5,000 gapped tapes. Then a team of 16 VGR employees spent 3 solid months reviewing and adjusted over 4.5 million of these markers in order to properly line up and split the two voices on the remaining gapped tapes. Once we had the gapped tapes split apart, we were able to generate new files for the table app that could play the translated sermons as if they were live translations. This is where the translator starts translating Brother Branham in almost real time. We call this dynamic audio. Here is a short clip of a dynamic audio file.
Zvisinei kuti zvaipesana zvakadini kana kuti sangano rake raiti zvaipesana sei, akaona Mwari vachisimbisa murume iyeye uye akaziva kuti aiva muprofita. Uye kana aiva muprofita, shoko rashe rinouya kumuprofita. Uye aiziva zvaaitaura pamusoro pazvo.
This was a very tedious, painstaking process, but the results were amazing and exactly what we needed. Now, all believers in foreign languages can listen to Brother Branham's voice and the translator's voice at the same time, just as if they were live translations. For those that were listening to a 4-hour gap tape, now they can listen in real time just like we are. We also thought it was very important to ensure that Brother Branham's voice could be clearly heard in this new audio format. So, we included a special built-in feature that allows the user to adjust the audio levels of both Brother Branham and the voice translator. In these settings, Brother Branham's voice cannot be dropped below a preset minimum so that it is always heard on the recordings. We're excited to announce that this new dynamic audio system for our foreign-speaking brothers and sisters has just been released in a new Table app update. We know this will be a huge blessing to thousands and thousands of believers around the world, and we can't wait to hear the feedback. It never ceases to amaze us the great care God takes in assuring that His voice to this generation is heard by all who desire to listen. We are constantly getting more sermons translated and recorded by our translation teams around the world, and every new recording will be in this new format. This also leads us to many other developments we'd like to share with you, which we'll be discussing in future segments on Lifeline over the next several weeks. So stay tuned in. Until then, God richly bless you and keep pressing play.